Zatanna, the Mistress of Magic, and Constantine, the Hellblazer. Two powerful DC magic users and members of Justice League Dark. A team of mystical and supernatural heroes protecting the world from demonic and supernatural threats. But what would Zatanna and Constantine look like in a Marvel Rivals art style? Well, let's find out. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. If you're a DC fan wondering what your favorite characters would look like in a Marvel Rivals art style, well then this is the channel for you. I've designed dozens of DC rivalized characters so far, too many to fit on this screen, and more to come. So if you like that kind of content, please subscribe, hit that like button, and come back for more. So let's get right into today's episode, and let's rivalize Constantine, the Hellblazer. It's been a little while since our last episode of DC Rivals character designs, and I apologize for that. I've been a little busy behind the scenes working on a few things, but over the summer I'm planning on getting back on schedule with some new content, new episodes, as well as some original and fun ideas. With your help, let's make this channel a fun place to hang out and a place where imagination never dies. I know that sounds a little pretentious, but that's my hope. So if you're not already, please subscribe and join me here. Because if you're an artist, or you like fan art, or if you're a comic fan, sci-fi video game fan, this is the place for you. As for our boy Constantine on screen, I originally had a standing pose with a slight upshot, and I decided to change that. It didn't feel quite right. I wanted to give him a little more of a pose, maybe he's casting a spell. So I decided to go with a pose more like this, with his cape kind of blowing in the wind. He's sort of hunched over a bit. I think this works. Constantine was created back in 1985 by the legendary writer Alan Moore. He first appeared in Swamp Thing number 37. Here's a fun fact. The artists working with Alan Moore, Stephen R. Bissett, and John Totleben, they modeled and designed Constantine after a certain 80s rock star, Sting of the Police. Yeah, I kind of see the resemblance. As for my design, I think I'll keep him pretty standard with his current look. Yeah, I'll give him the loose tie, the trench coat, but I'm going to add a pentagram belt, just a little something, to indicate his demonic connections and dark magic. And I think I've got his rough pencil design figured out, so I think I'll move on to the ink lines here. And I'll start with his hair. Give him that like really kind of messy, spiky hair that he has. Nothing as crazy as what Sting had in that photo earlier. I've always loved the simplicity of Constantine's design. He's just a guy in a trench coat with a tie, and he's always kind of disheveled. He's a smoker, a drinker, he's got a dark past. He doesn't need a fancy costume. In fact, he'd look really weird if he had a fancy costume. He's just not a superhero, and he was never meant to be. And I think that's why people like him. Constantine's costume really is just a trench coat, a tie, and a cigarette. So there's a lot of inking here with the drapery of his coat and his pants. But yeah, we'll just kind of speed through this and wrap up his digital inking here. Since his first appearance in the 80s, Constantine has grown in popularity, and he's been in several DC animated movies. And in fact, he's appeared twice in live action. One in a feature film in 2005, starring Keanu Reeves, and in a highly underrated TV series in 2014, starring Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan would go on to voice Constantine in several of the DC animated features. Back on screen, I'm choosing all my flat colors for my designs, and I'm kind of realizing that he seems a little bit too thin to be a standard kind of Marvel Rivals character, where they tend to be thicker and muscular in the shoulders. So I'm going to widen his shoulders and his arms and give him a little bit more of a rivalized look. And with his shoulder thickness worked out, I'm going to go in now and add the shadow tones to his jacket, his pants, everywhere it needs it. As always, all the artwork for these videos is created using Clip Studio Paint. And if you're interested, there is a link in the description below for you to download a free trial and check it out. I love it. I think it's the best digital art software that you can buy right now. It even includes a fantastic animation studio just built right in. It's also the perfect software for comic book artists, webcomic artists, webtoon artists. It's everything you need. And for the price, honestly, I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, back to the artwork. And on screen, I'm blending some of those shadow areas and just giving it more of a painted style. And let's get rid of that white background. And then I'm going to add a darkened airbrush tone, and that just helps give him some depth. I'll never use a straight black airbrush tone. I'll give it something like maybe like a dark purple or red. And here I'm adding the white highlight rim lights here. And now I'm going to add some like magic effects. So I'm going to give it an inverted pentagram with maybe some magic symbols. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to make them up as I go. And then I'll add some effects to sort of make it seem a little more magical. And I think I'm pretty happy with him at this point, so I would say we're just about done. So what do you think of Constantine as a DC Rivals? Is he rivalized? Does he fit the mold? I think he's a little different. He's not quite a Marvel Rivals design, but I don't know, there's something unique here. I think I like him. I think I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. What do you think? Leave me a comment and share your thoughts below. I try to answer everybody when I can. And yeah, who do you want to see next? I've had a few requests for Robin and Red Hood. Probably Swamp Thing would be a good one. I've had a request for that for a while. I was thinking of adding Vixen. I think it'd be fun to sort of interpret her animal powers. But yeah, let me know. And right now, let's move on to Zatanna. Everyone's favorite fishnet-wearing sorceress and magician, Zatanna Zatara. The character of Zatanna first appeared all the way back in 1964 in Hawkman issue number 4. Her stage magician design was pretty much all there right from the start. Her design has certainly been modified and updated several times throughout the years, but her overall look has mostly stayed true to her original design of top hat, fishnets, the magician look, so that's kind of cool. And because that's sort of her timeless and recognizable design, that's the one that I'm going to stick with because it leans more traditional and I just think it's a cool design. And so I'll just start roughing out a pencil design pose. I'm going to keep her in a standing pose, similar to what a lot of the Marvel Rivals character designs are. It's just sort of a static standing pose. No crazy action pose or anything like that. So I think this works. I like the floating book. I'm going to put a cane in her hand as well. And now I'll tidy up these pencils a little bit. I'm going to give her some nice strong legs. I figure anybody who wears fishnets all the time has got to be pretty proud of their legs. So let's give her some nice strong shapely legs. And now I'm just going to add a lot of costume details, a lot of other pencil details. I'm going to try out a couple different things here and there with her boots and leggings. And ultimately, I'm just going to change things as I go. I'm pretty happy with this pencil sketch. I think she's come together pretty well. So now I'm going to go in and start adding some inking lines here. I'll start on her hair and her face and move my way down. I like the idea of curly hair on her, so I'm going to give her some nice curls and waves in her hair. I think that looks pretty cool. For me, the first time I was introduced to the character of Zatanna was in an episode of Batman the Animated Series, where Bruce was training under her father, Zatara. Since then, I've seen her show up in multiple projects, DC animated movies and films, and she even had a live-action appearance in Smallville, I believe. Any Smallville fans out there? I used to love that show. As for the design on screen, I'm going to speed through the inking process here. Everything is digital inks in Clip Studio Paint, as I mentioned earlier. And I'm just going to add in all the detail, as much detail as I can, in the inking phase before I go to color or color flats. Originally, in the pencil fades, I thought about changing up her design a little bit and adding garter belts to her fishnets, but I thought, maybe not. Maybe that's a little bit too much, so I decided to go without that. However, in hindsight, I don't mind it. I think it's kind of cool, but maybe it's a little over the top. Is it something Marvel Rivals designers would do? Maybe, but I decided to just keep her more traditional, more comic accurate. What do you guys think? And now I'm choosing my color flats and color options, and I'm going to go with the violet vest. I think that's kind of cool. Instead of just black and white everywhere with splashes of red, I want to add a little bit more color. And the color flats are coming together pretty well. I like the color choices I've chosen. Um, but as we move on here, uh, what's your favorite version of Zatanna? There's been several animated versions. She's shown up in a video game, I think at least once in DC Universe Online. But so, what do you think? Who's the best animated version? Is it Young Justice, Justice League Dark? I think I'm leaning with Justice League Dark, the animated film. That movie was fantastic. And as for the design on screen, the color flats and color shadow tones are done. Now I'm going to add just some highlights and some blending tones. And actually, I have a texture design tool in Clip Studio Paint that I'm going to use to add those fishnet stocking designs. And then I'll add some other airbrushing and toning effects. And obviously this design art process here is highly sped up. These designs actually take me quite a while to do. It could take me an entire day just to get the initial design down and colored and flattened. And then I'll continue working on it on the following day just to clean everything up and add the rest of the details. So if you're an aspiring artist or illustrator, please know that these pieces, they take time. These are not done instantaneously as a time-lapse YouTube video would indicate. They take a lot of time and a lot of work, but that work is what makes it fun. That's what's enjoyable, getting into the artistic flow state and enjoying the process. So when you're drawing, remember, take your time, enjoy the ride, put on some music, and just get into it. And don't worry about the end result. Just be present. And back to the artwork, Zatanna is just about done. I've got the rivalized rim light down her one side, and I'm going to add some more details with that. And I think she is just about done. I want to add a few more things, but what do you think? Is my Zatanna, Mistress of Magic, worthy of a DC rivalized look? Well, I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. I think I'm pretty happy with her. I like the green magic glow effect that I've given it. I like the magic book. Pose looks pretty good. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So let me know what DC characters you want to see me add next. And moving forward, I think I'll be adding some new and different design ideas and series. Possibly character mashups, possibly some Marvel characters, and maybe some animation style character lineups. So let me know your thoughts on that, and let me know who you want to see. I've got some pretty fun ideas. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, and if you're not already, please subscribe. So thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. Keep drawing, and I will see you in the next one. All the best.